Okay, so my big AeroGarden, the 9 plant one, has been in service for, let's see if we can get this to 258 days. Not bad. I've decided I want to plant other stuff, so I am going to cut everything down and pull it apart. I'll keep some of the basil for supper and dry everything else.
The first thing I did was to cut off all of the plants at the base. So I started with the chives because they were the easiest ones to get to, and then I moved on to the parsley, which were a little harder to get out because of the bracket holding all the plants up. And then after the parsley, I pulled out the thyme, which is all the front row, and then after that I proceeded to the back row, which was the basil and the mint. So the first things I did was the chives, because those tend to be fairly easy. You just cut them up with scissors, spread it out a bit. The second one I did was the thyme, and I made a mistake doing this. I should have done them on separate dehydrator trays, just because they do have a slightly different drying time, but I didn't. I did the same one. Thyme is the worst one to do out of all of these herbs that I have because the leaves are so small, and I don't want the hard stems. So that one took me the longest to take all the leaves off and put them on the trays. The rest went fairly quickly. I ended up with 2 trays of parsley, one for each, and a couple trays of basil and a couple trays of mint. After dehydrating, I put them in jars so that I could take them to the kitchen to use them. And it was time to clean where the AeroGarden had been before. So I removed the base, vacuumed it, wiped it with a cloth because it was really dirty.
So it's been almost a week since I cut this all off and harvested it, and my chives and my parsley are trying to survive with no light. So they're very, very hardy little plants, but I'm just gonna end them.
Using a pair of scissors, I cut all the roots to as close to the plastic as I could so that I could pull them through the top and dispose of properly. Now for most of these, it wasn't too bad, just a lot of messy work. The parsley was ridiculously hard to get out. Those roots are very tough, and they went in every direction, and some were very thick, so it took a long time to get the roots for the parsley out. After finally getting everything off, I noticed that there was a whole bunch of roots in the places where the water goes in the lid part. So luckily I was able to disassemble the lid and remove this root system. And I'm impressed by this root system that was in the water cavity part of the lid. When the pump's running, the water goes through there and disperses into each of the plants. And that root system is just amazing. And after I took that out and cleaned the inside of that lid thoroughly, as well as the unit, like I took the bowl part apart, the pump, everything, and cleaned it all out, reassembled, now it's ready for a new garden. I just have to figure out what I want to plant now.